For Comedy Hype News, I'm John Abba. Fresh off the release of his Netflix special, executive produced by Dave Chappelle, Donnell Rawlings would appear as a guest on The Breakfast Club this morning, with the majority of the interview focused on Rawlings' beef with comedian Corey Holcomb, after being called a mild comedian. If you remember, just a few weeks ago, both Donnell and Corey would go viral when TMZ captured a moment of the confrontation between the two comedians. Now, according to sources, Rawlings had just finished a performance at the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles, and Holcomb would perform after. During Holcomb's performance, he would insinuate that anyone in Hollywood who has done more than 3 movies more than likely engaged in gay sex. Now, TMZ will report that Donnell confronted Corey at this moment to address this and some previous comments he made towards Donnell's friends, Dave Chappelle.
You catch up. You ain't have no.
You saying I'm mild? You saying I ain't come through the streets or the gutters and straight bull? Let's be fair and real. You say you keep it 100. Know how I get down.
How?
32. I rip. Ain't nothing.
If you was at the mall and put you out with your hot dog in your hand.
And guess what?
First off, you got to ask who's judging me, who is saying you mild.
Right.
If that person is not on the level of, when you talk about what your mouth saying, resume, if you're not on that level, it's not even fair for you to make an assessment of what you think my motherfucking career is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, who's judging me? And then when somebody's judging me, you're making a critique of me. What are you doing? What are you doing in your career? But sit back trying to shit on a motherfucker.
Without naming names, Donnell would address their back and forth on The Breakfast Club and would even inform viewers that he was warned by a close friend of his not to spotlight Holcomb and fall for the bait that the hosts of the show, Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, and Just Hilarious, set up for him in order to get him to talk about the moment. DJ Envy would ask if the close friend was Dave Chappelle, and although it was unconfirmed by Donnell, it can still be widely assumed it was him. Now, throughout the interview, Donnell would throw subliminal at Holcomb without saying his name, even saying that some comedians who have considered mild are actually doing better than the hot comedians. In the interview, Donnell would go into detail and further explain what happened prior to the TMZ footage. He said he went over his allowed time at the Laugh Factory, which, according to Corey Holcomb, was the reason why he decided to talk about Donnell in his own set. Donnell thought he was closing out the show and wasn't aware that Corey was going on stage after. Donnell also addressed Corey mentioning his son and the mother of his child during his 5150 podcast. Donnell's simple message was to keep it fair and keep the jokes on him.
This is a picture of self-hate. He ugly. He didn't want to make a baby with nobody that remotely looked like him. So this is some mail order bride looking ass Asian woman. Ugly people will do something to you or start mess because they ain't got nothing to lose.
But on your platform that's filled with hate, you want to put a picture of my family, my baby mother, and my son. That's very dirty. They got to be out in public. You don't know how people are going to react. That's the problem.
In addition to this, Donnell would speak on the mentality of black comedians lately. He would say that in the black community, there is a thought that there can only be one comic at a time, which leads to selfishness, competitiveness, and a lack of support. So what do you guys think about Donnell subliminally responding back to Corey Holcomb? And how do you think Holcomb should respond to these new comments? Plus, stay up to date for the latest news on comedy by subscribing here to our YouTube channel, and check out thehypemarket.com for all your cool and original merchandise. And for our YouTube viewers, if you like this story, send us a super thanks by hitting the button below, and you can tip us what you want to show your support. For Comedy Hype News, I'm John Abba.